Can you dig it, sucker?
Hey, this is Booker T, WWE Hall of Famer, and you're listening to the Awesome Wrestling Show. Now, can't you dig that, sucker?
Can you dig it, sucker?
Produced by the Cleveland Sound Radio Network. Here is the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, hosted by Glenn Moore and Steve Guy.
We are back. This is Awesome Wrestling Show here on SealySound.com and This Is Awesome Wrestling Show.com. We have a very, very special show today. A very special guest, WWE Hall of Famer Booker T is this week's guest. Half an hour conversation with him, and we'll get to that momentarily. But Steve and I are going to discuss just some random topics here. The Bullet Club members, well, former Bullet Club members, make their appearance on Raw. We're going to talk about TNA. News reports saying that they got evicted from their offices and now going to be putting up shop at TNA Shop, their warehouse in Tennessee. And we'll talk about Dr. Phil hosting Raw. We'll recap Raw for just a minute, and that will be the show. But look forward to Booker T coming on here very, very shortly. A great conversation about his career. If he ever gets the itch to get back in the ring after seeing guys like Stone Cold, Mick Foley, and Shawn Michaels get in the ring for a one-time only kind of event at WrestleMania. Also talk about Grado in the ring with him at AIW, and we'll hit on AIW really quick as well. And also staying busy. He has his own radio show. He has his own wrestling school. We talk about Athena, his thoughts on WrestleMania 32, and the rap song he sang for WWE Originals, Can You Dig It? So we actually go over the lyrics with him, which is pretty funny. So look forward to that. Momentarily, our interview with WWE Hall of Famer Booker T. And let's talk about AIW really quick off the bat. I forgot about Dre with this past Friday here in Cleveland, which featured Booker T coming to AIW. And we saw a reunion of sorts with Booker T and Colonel Robert Parker, who has been an AIW staple here in Cleveland. Of course, you know, Booker T tells us a story about he almost got fired from WCW, him and Colonel Parker. So that story is in the interview, but Colonel Robert Parker was one of Booker T's first managers in his career early on, and so we saw them reunion at the AIW, and we saw Grado make his way to the States, and we saw Grado and Booker T get in the ring together for a Spin and Rooney, and we saw the bookend, aka Rock Bottom, given to Grado from Booker T. So that was pretty cool, but a fun night with Booker T and Grado in the ring.
Yeah, my big fun was I actually got to introduce Booker T. It's pretty cool. I was excited to meet him, and then to be able to be in the ring and bring him to the ring was pretty great. I mean, can't ask for anything much more than that as a wrestling fan that's not going to be a wrestler.
So AIW was, like I said, this past Friday, AIWrestling.com for future events as well here in the Cleveland area. Got one coming up, Girls Night Out, end of the month, and then next month is the J-Lit. So AIWrestling.com is the website. Guys can check out Cleveland's independent wrestling scene. All right, let's get into it. We're going to talk about Luke Gallows and Doc Anderson. It's a surprise appearance on Raw. It's been rumored for months that they will be on WWE programming, either NXT or on the main roster. And with this Booty Tag Team Contenders Tournament going on, they make their impressions felt by attacking the Usos and even clinging the guns with they pointing their fingers and little drink kind of clanging, and it was decent. I'm sure Vince is probably maybe a little bit upset that he's actually paying Luke Gallows a lot more money than he did when Gallows was WWE previously. But yeah,
probably.
I'm looking forward to this. You know, they did do the gun thing. So that's the homage to the Bullet Club. And WWE wrestlers and personnel, I think WWE Twitter account actually used the hashtag instead of the Balor Club. They used Bullet Club.
They did. Even
And-
Mauro Ranallo tweeted out hashtag Bullet Club last night.
And they're not, I mean, that's owned, well, as of we know, is New Japan's, and, they can't use any likenesses of Bullet Club. I'm sure a hashtag can slide.
Yeah, hashtag is a
Yeah.
hash. Yeah.
But I'm sure we won't see Bullet Club unless WWE probably shell a lot of money out, which would be kind of cool. But, of course, we know AJ Styles is already in the WWE roster. He is the man from the Bullet Club. And then you have Finn, who is in NXT. So maybe this is just it has begun with the wheels are in motion to see a Balor Club formation. Maybe not soon, but maybe in the coming, 6 months to a year, something happening with them. But I think they're going to milk it as much as they can, and you'll see the tag team being formed and them going to the tag team, division. But I don't think we'll see a reunion of sorts, anytime soon, probably.
No, and I think that's the big takeaway, I guess, is that, which is nice. There's questions. There's all sorts of questions. What can happen, which is good because you don't want guys to debut and immediately you know exactly what's going to happen. They take out the Usos, which is kind of precarious. Why the Usos? And you still have Finn Balor sitting in NXT as the champion, so it's not like they're all going to debut together as previously thought. So we only have Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson there, and we'll see what happens. Do they enter the tag team tournament now instead? Do we find out a storyline where, they beat up the Usos and now they need to replace the Usos? Or I don't, or maybe they feud with, I don't know why they would feud with the Usos.
The conspiracy theorists out there,
Yeah.
they say that since AJ Styles is going after Roman Reigns,
Which is what I would love for an AJ heel turn.
you have the Luke Gallows and Doc Anderson going after the Usos in relation to Roman Reigns
Yeah.
with Styles. So you have that teasing there, but I think it was I think that's way a lot too much thinking into. We're giving WWE too much credit for booking that correctly, but I just think it's a random thing.
A random run in there.
Usos are they are good guys, but I think people. Then again, people are kind of sick of them too. It is what it is, but I think we're thinking a little bit too much.
They're the
into
one
it.
face team that you can take out and you don't anticipate more of an implication.
Yeah.
Right? It just seems
Yeah.
random. So the people who are steadfast and the casual fan who is like, oh, I like these people. I like the faces. I don't like the heels. They see this happen. Now they immediately know, oh, man, they beat up the top face team. I have to dislike these guys.
Yeah.
I think that's all there is to it because otherwise, you look throughout that anybody else they get involved with, they're so popular and so
Yeah.
over that now you have to automatically have a storyline with them. So I think this is just that one team that you could do it with.
Yeah, and I think we'll just see little sprinkles of these two guys. I don't think they're going to be wrestling on Raw next week. It's just going to be sprinkles here and there. And, hey, they get them on TV. They've been waiting for months. They've been signed for months. Get them on TV. Not necessarily put them in the storyline, but just to make the presence felt. And like I said, it's a tag team tournament. Put them in with them. And I think there was already how many tag team tournament matches were there last night?
Just two.
Just two. So
and then there's two on SmackDown.
So the main angle for the Dudleys versus Lucha Dragons was Kalisto, being hurt. So that angle was used for that.
Yeah.
So the only other way you can interject, these two guys into the tag team tournament would be to go after the other match of the night, which was Usos. So
Right.
I think it was just the way it was booked, and there's not. I think we're thinking a little bit too much. The series theorists are just being a little bit.
Yeah, it's just
thrown out
what
there.
made the most sense because the other two matches are on SmackDown. One features the Vaudevillains, who they just brought up. They're
Mhm.
not gonna make them interfere in that match.
Yeah, and I think they're more of a SmackDown tag team
Yeah.
right now.
And the other one is the Ascension taking on Enzo and Cass.
Yeah.
So again, they're not going to have them interfere in that match because you've already got Enzo and Cass going after feuding with the Dudleys.
Yeah.
It seems.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where it made sense. Look, How about, would you like to earn the paycheck that Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson have been getting for the last few months?
Definitely.
Hey guys, we're gonna pay you, but you know what? Not gonna use you tonight.
Definitely. And I'm sure Gallows is enjoying the pay bump that he had from being Festivus when he was just awful gimmick, but he's getting the pay raise. I'm sure they're happy.
How do we sign up for those kind of paychecks? Just hang out.
Gotta get over in Japan.
I guess.
And have a lot of buddies that get over as well. So you have Usos advancing. You're gonna have Vaudevillains versus the Golden Truth, and then you have Enzo and Cass going at with the Ascension. So I'm sure a couple of these matches will be on SmackDown, and then.
They are. Yeah, they did announce those two matches are on SmackDown, they said.
So there you go, sponsored by Bootios. I just sent a tweet out saying that they should call this the Booty Championship Series, the BCS.
BCS, yeah.
So
that was good.
So hopefully maybe they...
Are there still naming rights to that since they don't use it anymore?
I'm sure they can say BCS, Booty Championship
They can
Series.
say what it stands for. It's totally different, sure.
The worst thing that happens is a cease and desist. Worst thing.
Worse things have happened in the WWE.
Exactly.
In terms of lawsuits.
Now, we are TNA is in the news. Not good. First, earlier this week, they lose their replay. On Tuesday nights, they have their live show at 9. Well, not live, but their main show at 9. Yeah. And then they do a replay later in the evening at 9 Pacific time. So all the West Coast people can, view it in prime time. Well, they lost that right to do that, so they only have a live showing. Well, their main taping at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, and then they have a Saturday night or morning, replay. But they lost their West Coast prime spot, so people in the West Coast have to watch it at 6, and it's Pop TV, so I'm sure people aren't going to be missing out. But then. Dave Meltzer is reporting that they got evicted from their office building.
That's the real bad news.
And they have to very, very quickly set up shop at the TNA Shop TNA warehouse, which if you Google image or Google map and you do a street view, it looks basically like a mom and pop barn, just one of those, we can buy tiddlywinks from.
I hope they get a discount on T-shirts and merchandise.
I'm sure
being in there.
Hey, I'm sure someone will have to move all the best of AJ Styles and best of Hulk Hogan DVDs out of the corner so Dixie Carter can set up her desk. But yeah, it's not looking good, and they're losing money left and right. They need money for tapings. Their next tapings are in a couple weeks in Orlando. Not looking good for TNA.
I just wonder, what are they doing that they can't run this soundly enough? The tapings is such a smart idea business-wise because they don't have a ton of money. Great, they can do it all then. They don't have to pay for the venue every single week. They just knock it out during the course of a weekend. Is it the European tour? Did it cost too much to fly everybody over there? Or do they... is it like WWE where they have to pay for their own travel anyway?
I think the guys they get paid for because they have to come up with the airfare money for people to come down to Orlando. So I'm sure they're paying people to fly them down plus paying. So it's not looking good. And then we talked about this on the show previously is TNA is trying to get a cut of money of people who get booked by independent shows.
Yeah.
Booking their TNA superstars to where say AIW wants to book a guy, and so TNA wants a cut of that money. So that's maybe deterring a lot of people from booking TNA talent, but also TNA is not getting a lot of money from that. So they're trying to get money from any way possible, and I guess being evicted is the best way to save money from not paying rent.
You wonder if, TNA not being so popular, are they hurting themselves by doing that? Should they allow these guys to go out? Maybe they get a small cut, and maybe it needs to be reduced, or again, going back to no cut of it, so that people are familiar with these guys, because when they go to independent, say they're at AIW, somebody says, they announces TNA star, or, say EC3 comes and he's the champion, TNA champion, and there might be somebody in the crowd who doesn't know that. You know what I mean? It's just one more avenue that they can be discovered
Yeah,
by casual fan who happens to show up at one of these things.
I think if you're a hardcore wrestling fan going to a sweaty gym, you probably should know what TNA is.
You probably should, but again, on a night where like Booker T gets booked, all people find out is that Booker T is going to be in town, and they go in because they want to meet Booker T, and they stay for the rest of the show. You know what I mean? So you're going to have that all over.
Yeah, but I think the payoff is more for the wrestler because the wrestler's getting paid a few grand, and he's wrestling. The trade-off from one person tuning into Pop TV, which the person probably doesn't even have Pop TV. I don't think, I can see TNA's point trying to get some money off of that, skimming the top, trying to get some, cut of people getting booked. But
yeah,
I think they're hurting their product more by doing that than actually because, who are some guys on TNA that are worthy enough for you to pay your money to go see? Okay, EC3 is one, not just because we're friends with the guy, but he's legitimate, probably the best worker in TNA.
Yeah, people will still go see the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, but I think
Hardy are.
I'm sure Hardy Boys are all over anyway, so I'm sure they have like a special deal where they can do whatever they want because they're the Hardys. They've earned that right.
Would have said, hey, guess what? Would have said Bobby Roode and Eric Young.
Well, they're WWE now. They didn't sign on to the Indies. They signed on to the big boy. But like other than that, I mean, Abyss is still making indies. So I'm sure guys who are ingrained in TNA or ingrained career-wise, they can do whatever they want and get the money off of that. But it's other than that. I mean, have we seen DJ Z here in Cleveland recently?
No, but he will be.
Yeah, he will be. So I wonder what that deal is going.
I haven't seen him on TV for them in a while either. Although the Bromans did just return, so I don't know if he was part of those tapings and he's going to join back up with them or what. But he's been doing a lot of lucha style matches. So maybe he's making his money elsewhere and just doesn't want to be in TNA.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who the heck they had. Maria and her husband, the Miracle, Mike Bennett.
Is Gail Kim still in TNA?
Gail Kim is still there. Yep.
Okay, she'll be here.
Yeah.
So I guess there's some people are getting booked, but I mean EC3 used to be a staple here.
Yeah.
No matter if he was TNA champion or not, DJ Z was the dude's on TV angle. I'm sure it was part of the angle and the storyline, but still, I mean, I don't think it's as prevalent because of TNA trying to take some money. Whether that's true or not, maybe it's just guys not getting booked.
Could be.
We don't know, but
they may not do it for all of their guys. They may do it for some of the larger names.
Yeah. So, like I said, TNA not looking good, money trouble, and Meltzer's also reporting that there is an investor that wants to invest money, but Dixie Carter does not want to relinquish her control in the company, which I think is probably for the best if she does just leave her position. But let someone in there who knows what they're doing, run the company. The only thing Dixie Carter was good for was, parents' money and funding TNA.
Yeah.
JR today on his blog has even gone far to say that TNA should just rebrand, new name, just rebrand it all, and get away from the whole stinky TNA moniker.
Should they reach back? Should they bring Eric Bischoff back?
Eric Bischoff is teasing a big wrestling announcement. He was on Twitter teasing that his next involvement in wrestling is coming soon. No, Bischoff won't do anything.
He may go with Jeff Jarrett and go Global Force.
We're going to talk Jeff Jarrett after our Booker T interview because Jeff Jarrett is in the news.
Oh boy,
and it's not good. And he may not be king of the mountain, but he's definitely king of the pyramid scheme.
He's TROUBLE.
Not in trouble.
No, not in trouble.
Not in trouble. Just
okay.
He's like I said. He's on top of the pyramid scheme. So
well, that's where you want to be in that scheme. Is you want to be at the top.
He is definitely at the top. So we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about Scott Steiner in the news, literally in the news, as a very calm Scott Steiner. We're going to give him a call too and try to get the bottom of the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, we'll pimp out what's the name of the place?
Shoney's.
We'll pimp out Shoney's in Atlanta, GA.
Yeah.
Go see Shoney's.
It was they didn't talk about it though. They talked about Hardee's. And they didn't talk about Shoney's on his interview.
Well, I know, but the reason why he was there is because
of the Shoney's. Yeah.
He's just opening a new Shoney's. So, hey,
we got to teach him some marketing. Scott, you're on television. Talk about.
We can't market our own show.
Yeah, no, but we're not on television like that. You have a primetime opportunity like that. You're like, Yeah, I was just over here at my new Shoney's, opening
very
up today.
Very calm. We'll play the audio for you here, but right now I want to get into our interview and a very, very special assist to Chris Clem. Steve was working, and Chris Clem
I was a little busy there.
filled in, and we were able to fulfill a childhood dream for Chris Clem for interviewing Booker T. And
That's right.
Chris did a great job not marking out too much and asking the questions, the hard-hitting questions that we needed to be asked to Booker T for a half an hour. So sit back and enjoy our interview with WWE Hall of Famer Booker T.
Can you dig it, sucker? Can you dig it, sucker?
Welcome back. This is Awesome Wrestling Show. I want to welcome our special guest this week. He is a five-time world champ, a WWE Hall of Famer here in Cleveland for AIW, Booker T. Booker T, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show, man.
Cool, man. Appreciate you having me.
All right, we definitely want to talk about what transpired tonight. And I know a lot of people listening have not seen, if you weren't here, the DVD comes out very shortly. But Grado, a European sensation here in America, comes out and challenges you to a Spinneroonie contest. First of all, I don't think you've ever been challenged by someone with the antics of a guy like Grado.
You know, I normally get a lot of kids challenging me, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Wanted to get a chance to do it, but not someone like that. No, that was improv.
Yeah.
You know, it was definitely unexpected, to say the least. But you know what I mean? I'm always up for a challenge.
Yeah. So you are a Hall of Famer. You're
Yep.
51 years old.
Yeah.
I know you have your own school down in Texas.
Yep.
You have a radio show.
Yeah, man. Heated conversation.
And you are in pre-shows. You're all over the network.
Yep.
And you still have to take the time out to come here to Cleveland, Ohio, to see the fans here in Cleveland, to be involved in the show. Just, you are a busy man.
You know, you only live once. You know what I mean? You got to, get your time in. You know, it's a lot of places where fans hadn't gotten a chance to get up close and personal with Booker T. And, for me to actually go out there and, let them, have that moment is still pretty cool for me. Not just them, it's not just a moment for them. It's still a moment for me as well, So I look forward to actually, doing this as long as I possibly can. Even though I wear a lot of hats, you know what I mean? I think this is my bread and butter as far as what I do, Yeah.
You still get in the ring to do spinneroonies very often? It looked like you might have struggled a minute.
I hadn't practiced the spinneroonie in a while. The thing is, I did it cold. I got these skinny jeans on and they're tight as crap. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, shoot, it was a rough one. It was probably one of my roughest spinneroonies in a while. But I still love doing it. If it was live and the camera was rolling for Monday night, trust me. Yeah, it would have been right, but I would have. But trust me, I would have stretched for about a good hour and a half.
You're just ready to get right back in there. You think you're going to be wrestling anytime soon on TV, or is that over?
That part of my life, I pretty much put it behind me. I still feel great. I still train every day in the gym. Trying to make it to my daughter's graduation and see her walk down the aisle one day. That's my biggest match these days.
Yeah.
As far as getting back in the ring and performing. We got a lot of young guys out there, NXT. We got a lot of young guys on the roster, going out there doing their thing, man. And it's their time. It's their time to go out there and fulfill their dreams. It's their time to, perform at the WrestleManias, the grandest stage of them all. It's their time to go out there and, live their Hall of Fame dreams as well. I've done it. I have nothing to prove in the business anymore at all, and it's up to me to, give those guys the reins, man, and let them go.
And like a WrestleMania moments when you see guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, got not full-time guys come back and do a couple spots here and there. When you see that, do you get the itch at all?
Not at all, man. I'm one of those guys that live in seasons, and I don't like getting stuck in one season or anything like that. It's cool to get the pop of the crowd and go out there and be able to, do it for one night, which I'm sure for those guys, for one night, for like Mick Foley, it's pretty much enough. You know what I'm saying? We go back home, you know what I mean? Take a hot bath. But I tell you, man, it's nostalgic. But for me, I got so many other irons, in the fire right now. I got a bunch of students, with my wrestling school, and I love actually training with those guys and see them actually go out there and do it. I got a couple of guys hopefully will get signed here pretty soon, and it's all about them now, not about me.
What were your thoughts on WrestleMania that transpired this past Sunday?
It was cool, man. It was an awesome spectacle. Over 100,000 people, crammed in one arena around a 20 by 20 square foot ring. I think that's pretty awesome in any, one's imagination.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to picture something like that, you know what I mean? Not a football field, but a 20 by 20 square foot ring. You got 100,000 people in there. Just wanting to be a part of the, the atmosphere. It was awesome, you know what I mean? It wasn't the card like, you would see back in, 10, 15 years ago where it was, the card was built 3-4 months out. These guys had solid angles. This one's kind of hot-shotted. But, it got a chance to see some young talent go out there and, perform, and do their thing. We got a chance to see AJ Styles do his first WrestleMania. You know what I mean? So that's a nostalgic moment right there in itself, seeing AJ Styles walk out in a WWE ring for WrestleMania and then to go out and have an awesome match with Chris Jericho. You couldn't ask for more.
What did you think about Shane coming back? And then, obviously, Attitude Era, we all know about his spots, jumping off the Titantron. We see a man of his age, anybody, jumping off Hell in the Cell, 20, 25 feet, let alone a guy that hasn't been around for very long. It's quite the feat.
Yeah, you saw me just struggle with the spinneroonie, so you can imagine what he's feeling jumping off that cage, and going through that damn table. You know what I mean? It's a rough gig, you know what I mean? It's a mindset, to be able to go out there and pull something off like that. I big ups to him going out there and pulling it off like that. But I tell you, man, it was dangerous, man. It was scary to see. And hopefully he's not going to be traumatized from it, some years from now, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times, that kind of stuff don't hit you until later on. It's like a car wreck, you know what I mean? You can have that wreck that night, and you feel pretty good. You wake up the next morning, you've got black and blue marks all over you, and you wondering what the hell happened, So hopefully it's not anything sustaining. And but it was a feat, man. It was an awesome sight. It was an awesome spectacle to see him pull it off.
Booker, I've been a long-time fan. Way back to the Nintendo 64 days, I'd always pick Booker T. It's fun to play as. But I wanted to ask a question that you probably have never been asked before, and that's you had a rap song about 10 years ago called Can You Dig It?
Can You Dig It?
Did you write all those lyrics yourself?
No, they wrote all that stuff. That's the thing, the rap song for me, I used it on television for about a month, and it just wasn't something that I could do.
Yeah.
I actually went to Vince McMahon and, told Vince, I was like, Vince, you think I can get my music back? I need my music back. I don't even feel like myself when I go out of the curtain now, you know what I mean? I felt like a different person, and I was like, I need my music back, And he's like, okay, if you could just go for one more week, we'll, because they was promoting the album. And the album, I think it went platinum. I'm serious. I'm dead serious on that right there. But he gave me my music back, and I've had it ever since. Yeah.
Your music is pretty iconic. You're one of the few WCW guys that came over and kept the same music most of your whole career, except when you were King Booker.
Yeah, that was all by design. My music, made me just Booker T. It didn't. People didn't look at me just as a black wrestler or anything like that. My music transcend Booker T and who I was before I ever came out of the curtain. Everybody in the arena would start rocking. So, it wasn't just one, color or anything like that. And I think, like I say, from the beginning, for me, that was by design. I wanted people to, everybody to, rejoice when they heard Booker T coming out and, by design, not to have rap music. That's why I love seeing Apollo Crew, come out, and he doesn't have rap music, you know what I mean? He's not, identified as just a black guy. He's identified as a superstar, you know what I mean? So I really, really appreciate that.
The thing with the New Day, I think a lot of people, when they first came out, was why are they, stereotyping a preacher mentality, and now they are the hottest thing. They're so over with the crowd, and their antics are more comedy and funny, but still great wrestling. It was great that they stuck with that, and they kind of gave them creative control, and they're just three funny guys, and they had the best entrance at WrestleMania.
Hey, man, New Day, you got to give those guys a lot of credit for going out there and creating something, But I always tell those guys, I tell all of them, you could do all of the stupid, silly antics outside of the ring, that you want. You can make people laugh all you want. But when you get in the ring, it's time to go to work. It's time to go out there and beat somebody up. And that's what the New Day does very well. They actually go out there and beat guys up pretty good, and I think that's what's gotten them over.
Now, when you come to events like this, I know around the country, when you see fans maybe of a younger generation, fans that in their teens, if you would tell them, hey, go to WWE Network and look this up for Booker T, what era, what time of your career would kind of relate to what you want people to remember Booker T as?
It's not one era, that you can go to and look at. It's pretty much all of them. Go and you'll take a little bit away from each and every one of them. I wrestled different styles at different eras of my career, of my life. Something may have been hurt one day and I had to alter it. Because I was getting older or whatever. But in the beginning I wrestled a whole lot. I was the ultimate wrestler, and then I became an entertainer. And then I became both. So it's just one of those things. I've had a really, really cool career. It's been spanned over 25 years now, which is something I never imagined in a million years. But just check out all of Booker T old clips.
I mean, that's one thing that you were really good at is you were always super serious and you were credible in the ring, but you were really entertaining. And that doesn't seem to happen as much anymore. Do you think it was just you got a chance to grow without people expecting a lot and they're pushed out there now? Or do you just think it was your natural ability? I mean, I guess my question would be, how hard was that for you to be that entertaining but also maintain your serious persona in the ring?
Well, I mean, I always knew, when you're in the ring, I always tell my students, when you go through the curtain, you got to actually feel like you're going to beat the guy up that you're actually going out there to wrestle against. If you don't, the camera will see it. They'll know you coming out to, pretty much play wrestler. And that's something that I never did was, compromise what I did in the ring. So I went out there in the ring and performed at a high level. I never wanted to make people laugh when I was in the ring. That it was never time to make them laugh, other than taking a Stone Cold Stunner at WrestleMania, something like that. You know what I mean? But when it was time to perform, you got to go out there and let the people know that the fan in the front row can't think he can beat you up. They got to know that if you run into this guy in the bar, he might hurt you. So I just never compromised, my work.
Yeah, that really showed. You were always one of my favorite people to watch in the ring, but always entertaining, and it just seems like that's almost missing from a lot of people nowadays.
I think, it's just the way we were trained. We were trained different, I think, and it's just evolution, I think, You got some guys that go out there like a Kevin Owens, you know what I mean? He can be funny, but then when you see him go out in the ring, he doesn't compromise, what he does in the ring to be funny. He goes out and perform, and that's what I'm talking about. You can see Chris Jericho do a lot of crazy, stupid stuff, but when he goes out in the ring, he goes out and perform at a very, very high level, and that's the thing. That's why it's called sports entertainment. We still got to be actors. We still got to go out and entertain you from an out-of-ring perspective as well, but you cannot, compromise, your in-ring work to make a fan laugh. If you do, there's a place on the card for that, but if you want to work in the main event, if you want to be a main event performer, you can't do that.
One person that comes from your school that sticks out that's with NXT and was made her mark here in Cleveland, AIW, was Athena. And she's amazing in the ring, and, it matches with men and also with women. But just your thoughts on Athena, and, could she be part of the, not Divas anymore, the women's wrestling revolution when it comes to WWE?
Oh, man, you've seen her wrestle before. Yeah. She's awesome, man. She goes out and perform at a very, very high level, and that's not something that you could teach a person right there. They got to have that drive in themselves to want to go out and perform at that level. They got to, put themselves in position to go out there and, know that, what not to do, in the ring, when it's time to turn it up. You know what I mean? When it's time to sell and hard sell and dead sell, you know what I mean? There's so many different elements of the game, you know what I mean? And she's actually picked all of them up,
Yeah.
And the thing is, when she goes out and perform, it's beautiful. Because you see a girl out there throwing herself around and just like, as tough as any of the guys on the roster, so she's definitely fit to be on the roster. I'm sure her time is going to come and she's going to take advantage of it. I just say when you get the ball, don't drop it. You know what I mean? Score a touchdown every time.
We've seen a lot of like intergender matches, men versus women, and maybe back in the Attitude Era where you had that mixing, but it wasn't realistic enough. You couldn't picture Sable, beating Mark Merrow, but now in the indies, you see more and more of that. You see, some of the top women face off against men in some believable matches and get some wins to where it's not just comedy skits, real wrestling.
Yeah.
Do you think there ever would be that time back in WWE where you see intergender matches, or do you think that's a little bit too not what they're looking for?
I never say never, with stuff like that. Right now, I don't see it happening anytime soon because we do have such a strong, women's division. There's no real reason for our women to wrestle the guys. We don't have a China-like wrestler on the card anymore. You know what I mean? That you would want to throw out there. That's big enough to wrestle. Against men. So I don't see it happening in WWE anytime soon because our women's division is strong, man. I mean, those girls go out and they perform at a level of that we've never seen in a women's division. Yeah.
With your really busy schedule currently, do you still get time to do any hobbies or anything?
I play a lot of golf. You know what I mean? I'm a golfer. I don't do a whole lot other than hang out with the kids and stuff like that. But I don't. It's not a whole lot. Occupy my time outside of working some job. I got like I said, I wear a lot of hats. I promote boxing matches. MMA fights. Wrestling concerts. Whatever. You know what I mean. So, and like I say, the radio show keeps me pretty busy. The wrestling promotion, school, it keeps me pretty busy. The comic book. Right now in the middle of doing a video. A book online. So.
You have a comic book?
Yeah, G.I. Bro, America's Greatest Hero. Yeah, second issue is out right now.
It's out right now at like comic book stores.
It's in a lot of comic book stores in Texas, and you can go to realityofwrestling.com and check out your latest issue.
Are you writing it?
I do a lot of the writing and the stories, all my stories.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
You are like I said, a man that wears many, many hats, but I have to ask about your time in WCW and then going to WWE, and you had some epic battles, Triple H, WrestleMania, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock. But do you ever probably not ponder it, but think that the money a lot more money would have been involved in when there was actually an invasion angle with WCW that Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Hogan. I know there's money issues and contract and whatnot, and their own personal reasons why that there wasn't really a bigger invasion angle, but. Man, as a fan of me and as a teenager when that was going on, that probably would have been the ultimate, having you and the WCW guys, Flair, Sting, going against the Team WWF. It would have been a lot of money if that was booked the right way.
Yeah, everybody, everybody wish, it could have been, this or could have been that, but I don't know, it would have been really, really hard to manage something like that and control it. The war was won. You know what I mean? There was no reason to have an invasion angle, other than me just, putting the icing on the cake and beating all the guys that come over. What do you think would have happened? If it would have been an invasion angle, everybody from WCW would have got killed, just like in the war, just like the war ended. And that's what the public need to understand, and they need to realize that if it was their company and they'd been in war with another company, a rival company for over 10 years, you don't want to see that company no more. You don't want to see their logo anymore. It's business. You know what I mean? The kid in you wanted that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And the kid in the most wanted that. You know what I mean? But that's not the business way.
Yeah, that's the thing we talk about on the playground. Like, oh man, what would happen?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You guys got to grow up. I'm just
You say we got to get over it.
I was a teenager. Yeah, I was like 13
but you
years
still
old.
got that same look in your eye right now.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. That's the thing. It's bigger than what people
Yeah.
think.
No, I get you. I understand that aspect, but like I said, the fan in me knowing, but still it's fun to think about.
I totally understand.
You seem to have the most successful career out of everybody that did come over in the invasion. Is there something you credit that to? Because you were, within 2 years, nobody seemed to think of you as a WCW guy. You were Booker T, big-time WWE guy.
I attribute it to probably not believing in my own hype. This is just a job for me, man. That's all it is. I don't look at it as anything else other than a job. And I know to keep your job, you got to stay on top of your game. You can't, luck is, it's not going to work. Preparation is the only luck you're going to have. So for me, it was always just about being prepared, going out and performing, and being able to pay my bills, my mortgage, and be able to still be happy, and go fishing when I want to go, what I mean? Eat whatever I want to eat, you know what I mean? That's what life is for me, It's not about how many cars or women I could have or anything like that. Family's first, God's first, you know what I mean? I enjoy life, and I think that's what propelled me to actually make it to this level where I'm at right now, still working with the company, still being able to produce young guys and give back, at the same time, So it's a hell of a ride, and I'm still on it. I'm the last one left, I'm the last one.
Do you ever look over your shoulder when you're shopping at the supermarket?
Nah, heck no, man. I mean, Steve Austin, we made magic, man.
That was
pure
magic.
We made, people have memories for the rest of their lives, watching that stuff. I never get people come up to me and say anything other than, man, that was some awesome stuff with you and Steve Austin at the grocery store, So my thing is, that's what the business has always been for me. A lot of it I don't remember. You know what I mean? Because it was for the fan to remember. It wasn't for me to remember until they remind me about it. Hey, you remember? But certain things like that, forget it. Yeah.
This is my last question for you. I don't know what else Glenn has, but there's a lot of wrestlers now. They're doing one-man shows like Mick Foley and RVD's going out and doing comedy now. JR, you are always a really funny guy. Have you ever thought about doing that?
I'm a funny guy. I don't tell jokes or anything like that. I'm really funny. You know what I mean? I got, I do funny, stupid stuff. You know what I mean? But, doing a one-man show, if I had to, I might. You know what I mean? But for me, I want to build my production company. I want to get, 15 cameras. I want to build my studio in Houston up to the point to where, our shows are going to be prime A1 shows in our new arena that we built, our World's Gym arena that we're pretty proud of, So I want to just, continue to work behind the scenes. People ask me about movies and stuff like that. And, I want to work the camera. I want to be behind the camera. I want to be the director, stuff like that. And just keep, evolving, in life, and that's what I'm trying to do. Just keep evolving, you know what I mean? Going to the next level and whatever that is.
My final question for you: you have an old friend here, Colonel Robert Parker, who has been AIW for the last few months. You saw him, and he's one of your, one of your managers for WCW.
First manager in WCW. They almost got us all fired first night.
Can you tell us that story and how that happened, or
Sid Vicious is the one who got myself and my brother in the WCW. He let us stay in his house. You know what I mean? Made sure we got raises on time. Sid was our guy, you know what I mean? He's the reason why, we made it to WCW. Mm-hmm. And him and Rob was a really, really good friends. They stayed in this apartment complex in a nice part of Atlanta, Rob used to be out by the pool every day drinking his Natural Light, a case of Natural Light every day.
He is right now.
Yeah. I saw somebody say they went and did a run for him. And I go, "What, did you get the Natural Light?" And the kid go, "Yeah, I got the Natural Light." This is 20 years later. It's crazy, But Sid had this great idea. Sid was trying to be an office guy too. Sid wanted to be in the office. Actually, we were his first project. For WCW. So if we make it, we'll make Sid look good. And say, all right, got a guy, we'll put you with Colonel Rob Parker, and we'll make you guys, the Chi-Town Heat, you know what I mean? Two brothers that just got out of prison, And normally when you get out of prison, they give you some getting out of prison clothes, but they didn't give us any, you know what I mean? We came straight from the yard to WCW with our prison gear on. And the number still stenciled on the shirt.
Got a job.
Yeah. So the only reason we got out early on the early release program because of Rob Parker. You know what I mean? He was the whole plantation owner. You know what I mean?
Goodness.
It was the craziest gimmick you could ever. And I wondered who thought of this. My mother always told me, when you 100% about something, you speak up 100% of the time. When you're 99%. You keep your mouth shut, and it was our first gig, you know what I mean? So we said, let's see how this thing play out. Don't say nothing. And we went out and, the human resources, the powers that be, the dirt sheets back then, which was, Meltzer, they wrote about this stuff. And next thing you know, they brought us in the office. Ole Anderson, he tells me, I think first thing, I think I should do is send you guys back to Texas. And I'm like, wait a minute, what our fault? What are you talking about? This is y'all creation. Seeing that you guys sent us out here to do this, ball and chain and everything. You know what I mean? And we worked it out. You know what I mean? They said, well, you guys, you can work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they ended up keeping us around. Dusty Rhodes, God rest his soul. Revamped us, you know what I mean, came up with the name Harlem Heat.
Yeah.
Took the name Kane and Cole off of us and gave us our old names back, which was Booker T and Stevie Ray that Hot Steph Eddie Gilbert had started us with, back in the Global Wrestling Federation. And then the rest is history, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was a rocky start, man. It was a rocky start, but, we weathered the storm. Cream always rises to the top.
Yeah. Booker T, it's been a pleasure and an honor to speak with you, and we appreciate your time. And thanks for coming to Cleveland and seeing your fans and being part of the radio show. Like I said, we really, really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you having me. Always, guys, you want to know what I'm doing, just go to realityofwrestling.com. Check out realityofwrestling.com. It's a hot, hot show, guys, as well as, like you say, my radio show, Heated Conversation. Download the radio.com app and listen to me live every Saturday night at 7 o'clock.
Everybody has a podcast nowadays, and you're throwing your hat in the ring, man.
Well, I got a podcast, but I like doing live radio, man.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. The podcast is doing really, really good, but I love doing live radio.
You've had a lot of good guests on that show, too. I've been listening.
Yeah, man. You know what? The radio station, before we get out there, just one last little story. The radio station that's it. I was talking to my guy who, put me in, Ryan McCready, and, he was saying, he wanted me to do one of the other guys' show, and I was like, yeah, man, I could do it. And I went over and did a show, Triple Threat, in the daytime, and they were saying, man, you've been getting a lot of cool guests, man. We got a memo went around the company when you got Dwight Howard. And I go, well, man, y'all must be getting a lot of emails. So, but it's cool, man. If even had a cool guest, they had a clout that I've been around to where people, respect me and want to, hang out and talk with me.
Yeah, it seemed like you got a lot of stuff out of Dwight Howard I've never heard in any sort of mainstream NBA interview.
Well, because mainstream media always try to take it the opposite direction. They never want to hear the good about a person. They always want to drag you down the mud, So I didn't give him a whole lot of I got you questions or anything like that. I just wanted to bring him on there and talk to him and wonder why he is the way he is. Like why does he smile on the court? You know what I mean? When it's a bad situation and you're down by 10, you know what I mean? And he gave me a good enough answer where I could say, okay, I can understand that. And the people out there, it's a lot of critics. People always want to critique you, especially on social media these days. Everybody got an opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody's got a news show. You know what I mean? So, you just got to be able to rise above it, and I think he has.
Again, where they can find your radio show and everything?
Heated Conversation, Sports Radio 610. Download the radio.com app. That's every Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Check out what I'm doing at realityofwrestling.com also. Check out, the shows. We got a really, really cool show. We up in the production. Hopefully I can bring some of my guys down here.
Yeah, there you go.
And, let them, do a little cross-promotion and, do it up, make it big.
Booker T, 5-time world champ, WWE Hall of Famer, here on the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show.
He's actually a 6-time world champ, Glenn.
Actually,
5-time WCW
Actually
champ,
6, you know.
1-time world heavyweight champ.
Actually,
You got to stop me do the intro. I should have
it's
redone the intro,
it's
man.
all good. It's all good. No, I only claim 5.
There you go. Thanks, man.
Can you dig it? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Can you dig it? Yeah. Can you dig it, sucker? Yeah. Can you dig it? Yeah, it's all real.
Booker T. Great interview with him. Thanks to Chris Clem, the assist, for stepping in for Steve for the interview. And you guys can check it out. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com for a transcript of some of the highlights from the interview. Check out our past interviews. We have a lot of great interviews on our website. And also, we're on iTunes, Stitcher, everywhere you need to be. When you listen to the podcast, we are there. So this is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com. And thanks to Booker T for taking the time out to come on the show. Speaking of WWE, former WWE superstars, well, I was going to say Hall of Famers, but these two guys, next topics, they're not in the Hall of Fame. But
They're not.
Jeff Jarrett is, not in the news per se, but if you went to his next venture, we all know Global Force Wrestling not doing too well.
It's not.
It seems like, Lucha Underground kind of has overtaken them, and you have NXT, and you have Ring of Honor doing well, and New Japan doing well. Jeff Jarrett is...
Times are tough.
They have all these tapings, and I'm sure half the guys are... if they aired a Global Force Wrestling show right now, I'm sure some of the guys will be in WWE or just off the face of the earth. Even our boy Johnny Gargano participated in a Global Force event here in the area, which seems like ages ago, which is good for him, but Gargano's moved on to bigger things. But
It was
now,
almost a year ago. It's last July, right?
yeah. So quickly has things turned, and now Jeff Jarrett wants your money to I feel like Michael Scott here trying to fall for this pyramid scheme. But Jeff Jarrett, if you go to globalforcegold.info, not .com, but info, you get a video of Jeff Jarrett. If you want to join Team Jarrett, and if you're a wrestling fan, all right, I might want to join Team Jarrett.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff Jarrett, great wrestler. Well, okay, great. Maybe he's a little
Good
bit
wrestler.
Good wrestler, entertaining.
Yeah.
But okay, I'll watch the videos. Just Jeff Jarrett. So he says, if you want to join Team Jarrett, you got to sign up below and watch this 7-minute video. Now, it's funny in the website has it for 20 minutes, but they cross out the 20 and put 7. So they condense this video that you have to watch to be a part of Team Jarrett. So what you do, he's convincing you. He'll give you a free 8x10 personalized autograph to you mailed.
Sounds great.
Who doesn't want a Jeff Jarrett signed autograph personalized photo?
Absolutely.
So all you have to do to join Team Jarrett is to fill in your name, your email address, and watch the 7-minute video. And then
This sounds incredible.
Yeah, and all you got to do is sit back, and then they call you once they get in contact with you.
All right.
So, hey. You put in your email, you put in your name, you click the, link with the login, whatever.
Yeah.
And you're taken to this YouTube channel, this YouTube video about...
Still not too bad so far.
No,
okay.
okay. Hey, it's a video. He said it was a video.
Yeah.
There's no viruses being installed on my computer yet.
All right.
And it takes me to why I should buy gold right now. I should buy gold right now and be a part of this great system.
Is he telling you? Is he the one in the video saying you should buy gold?
He says gold once, but he says it like...
But it's him in the video.
No.
Oh.
So the video that for almost 8 minutes long is about why, instead of paying for that Starbucks coffee for a week, you should send over your $35 to us, and we're going to mail you this little piece of gold, which could be worth a lot of money in the future. It's a pyramid scheme, basically.
Sure. Could it be possible that they screwed up the link?
No.
Okay.
It was not. It was because Global Force Gold.
It's called Global Force Gold. Okay.
So Jarrett is at the top of the. He's king of the mountain. Well, king of the pyramid scheme.
Wow.
And hey, trying to get money for Global Force, trying to anyone you can. I feel bad for those hardcore fans who got suckered in probably, and now they have some little piece of gold on a card, hoping that in 20 years it's going to be worth double what they paid for. So, yeah, Jeff Jarrett.
Maybe Dixie needs to look into this, and TNA will be all right.
TNAgold.com. I'm buying. I'm giving. Where do I send my money? TNA. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that was making the rounds on social media. People making fun of that, and the video of Jarrett is actually they took it down on YouTube as like the only way you can view it is if you have the link. So it's unlisted, and yeah. Jeff Jarrett wants you to join forces on Team Jarrett. So globalforcegold.com. And to receive your Jeff Jarrett 8x10 personalized autograph, enter the correct information above and click the button to watch this new 7-minute video. A Team Jarrett affiliate will call you to verify the correct shipping address and answer any questions you have about signing up. You have to create a free gold savings account. Then you get the photo.
Oh, okay.
So we can't, if Steve Guy and I wanted to sit here and put in 20 different addresses for 20 different personalized photos,
would it work?
We can't do that because we have to actually buy some gold.
Man.
So, hey, Team Jarrett. So after hearing that, Steve Guy, do you want to invest into Team Jarrett?
No, I don't think I do. I'm gonna pass on that.
Get a personalized photo.
Boy, being married to Karen must be
hard.
Awfully, yeah. I mean, what the hell is he buying her?
Yeah. So that's the big news story for Team Jarrett and Global Force Wrestling. Moving on to a guy that has competed in Global Force Wrestling.
Yeah.
Our good quote-unquote buddy of the show. He's been featured many, many times.
Yeah.
Mr. Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner, in the news. And if you haven't heard about it, go to our website, thisisawesamewrestlingshow.com. The story is on our website. So in Atlanta, GA, where Scott Steiner resides, well, I think Hall is actually in Atlanta too.
Yeah, he is. That's correct.
Okay,
He's just not relevant to this story.
So Steiner is in Atlanta, and he witnessed a attempted murder. A man in a road rage incident.
Just shooting at somebody.
Cut him off in traffic. Something must have happened. There's more to the story.
Even went into a Hardee's looking for him.
Yeah, literally. Well,
literally walked into the Hardee's behind the counter and was looking for the guy. It's a crazy story.
And so Scott Steiner, pardon me, he is opening a restaurant down the street.
Shoney's.
And witnessed this. And, he was a bystander to where if there's a group of people, a news story comes out, they want to get a witness report. Scott Steiner was there.
Yeah.
He's wearing a Nike ball cap, still has the white beard with the black goatee.
He actually looks a lot like how when I saw him at WrestleCon.
Yeah.
Pretty similar outfit.
He's in the tracksuit. I think basically, just chilling. And he is the most calm I have ever heard Mr. Steiner ever in my entire life. He actually sounds like he knows what he's talking about, and which leads me to believe that Scott Steiner in real life is a very, very average man with muscles.
He wants to, he wants to make sure he gets all his facts straight. He's giving important information to everybody, and they're on the local news down in Atlanta. So, he's got to present it calm.
But still, it's weird. All the promos he cuts, even real life stuff, he looks like a bumbling idiot. Not very correct with his math calculations.
Well, yeah, in fairness, there was not math involved in this interview, so he probably didn't have him as excited.
True. If he would have said the speed limit, he was going, 130 miles an hour divided by 2, then we got a problem.
Yeah. It's just pretty calm neighborhood, like you said. Pretty quiet neighborhood.
So we're going to give Scott a call. It's been a while since we had Scott, his voicemail on the show.
Yeah.
So we're going to give Scott a call. And you know what? I was telling Steve before we recorded this session is I have a really good feeling about this. This is a time for Steiner to answer because
it is
of him.
His new restaurant.
Yeah, great new restaurant.
Being a part of this news story.
Get a double-decker burger.
Yeah, don't get the upper decker.
That's still funny the second time. So we're gonna give Scott a call, and let's see if he picks up. So, Mr. Steiner, it's been a while. Should we leave a voicemail if he does?
Sure. Tell him we'd like to promote his restaurant. Like to hear about this news story.
Here we go.
Ask him how many upper deckers he's served.
Someone's answered. Hello? Someone there? Hello? Someone answered the phone.
You just got hung up on?
Okay, someone answered the phone,
What was that?
and it sounded like there was background like noise, hissing. So someone was listening, and he hung up on me. So I'm calling back.
Oh, man.
I said hello. Yeah, someone answered. Someone actually answered. It wasn't like the phone cut out. It was someone actually answered.
Did you get a call fail or a hang up just then?
It was a hang up.
Okay. I heard the beeping, but I didn't see your screen.
No, because he hung up.
Yeah.
Now he's not answering.
I feel like he's just going to keep hanging up on people now because of this news story. Oh, man.
All right. You know what? We'll give him 5 minutes. We'll call back again. But we did get a confirmation of an answer. Let me call it Scott
We
Steiner's
still
phone.
get confirmation that it's him.
But it was an answer, though. It was an
It was
answer.
an answer. We probably got an answer.
We heard background noise and a hang up. He hung
Yeah.
up on us. So hey, you know what? I'll take that.
Success.
It's taken us over a year to get to an
We-
actual answer.
Reached through.
So it's going to take a year to get a hello out of him.
Yeah.
So we'll
Should have had Booker T call him.
I don't think Booker T would do that. Booker T loves talking about himself. Doesn't want to call anybody else. All right, so what we'll do is we'll wait 5 minutes. We'll give Scott a call again. We'll be one of these serial ex-girlfriends calling Scott Steiner. But we did get an answer.
I'm nervous if we call him too many times. Then we'll just get blocked and sent to voicemail.
We've had comedians and wrestlers leave voicemails. If he hasn't blocked us now,
That's true.
he's
True.
never going to block us. So we did get an answer. So I'm pretty excited about this. Maybe he'll call back. Maybe it's someone trying to order a double decker,
Yeah.
not the upper.
I wonder how many upper deckers do you think he's had at that restaurant already?
If we go down there, all right. If there's next year on the way to Orlando, if we drive down,
Yeah.
go through Atlanta, stop at Steiner's restaurant, Steve Guy will leave an upper decker.
Sure. If not me, someone will.
I will. Somebody from the This Is Awesome Wrestling show
Got friends who will.
will leave an upper decker at Scott Steiner's restaurant on the way to Orlando for WrestleMania next year.
Oh boy.
Justin Summers, this is what you have to.
Justin Summers says he's
look
going to go to WrestleMania next year.
This is what Joe. We'll have Justin do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna This Is Awesome party bus all the way down.
This sounds expensive.
All the way. We'll
We
rent
don't even have a sponsor right now.
Speaking of that, if you want to sponsor This Is Awesome Wrestling show
Maybe Scott Steiner will.
and our hilarities that consist of professional wrestling interviews, you can go to their website, thisisawesomewrestlingshow.com, click on the contact button,
Yeah.
fill out the form, and get in touch with us.
Hit us up.
We don't have a salesperson.
Sponsor our show.
So, yeah, really appreciate it. We love to put our hard work and get some green behind it.
Hey, speaking.
No gold, though. No gold, please.
No, we don't want to sell any gold. While we're waiting for Scott Steiner, just want to throw this out here for anybody listening. I'm actually doing stand-up comedy for
Oh,
a
here we
charity on
go.
Friday. It's for charity, Glenn.
Cheap pop.
Ohio Guidestone. We are getting close to selling out, so buy your tickets. Just search Ohio Guidestone on Facebook or look them up, and it will be at Music Box Supper Club in the Flats. So you can even go to their website and you can find tickets for this Friday. Mike Polk Jr., friend of the show,
Yeah.
also attended WrestleMania this year. He will be closing out, so I will be on it. Mike will be on it. Some other funny people. And again, all the money goes to charity. So that is this Friday.
All right, here we go. One more time for Steiner, then we'll end it for this week. I'm pretty stoked that we got an answer from him.
Feeling pretty good. What
Can't
just
control-
happened?
What is going on right now? Maybe he's getting so many calls right now.
He could be. His phone could be blowing up right
See what
now.
we can. Here we go.
Okay.
Blowing up, dude. Maybe put the carry-out order number, his number, on the restaurant.
Could have.
Don't think you're going to get an answer this time. Hello? All right.
No.
Well, you know what? Someone answered off Scott Steiner's line.
The phone was answered.
So I'll take that for this week. It's a win.
It's a
this
small
week.
victory.
And kind of, Booker T, Steiner and Booker T have gone to battle. Maybe it's the good karma of Booker T.
Could be.
Gave us an answer. So, hey, we'll keep you updated on this as the Steiner, saga continues here. This is Awesome Wrestling Show. Steve, Dr. Phil was the guest host on Raw. We're not going to get into it too much. But are you excited or not excited about the possibility of a new guest host each week? Well, not guest host, but a new guest on Raw each week.
No, that doesn't always excite me. It's nice when they're randomly there sometimes. And the only thing that I didn't love Dr. Phil being on there, the only thing I have that I can say about it is that I was glad he wasn't like the guest GM. It wasn't a big role. It was just, hey, insert Dr. Phil here to make a quick thing or whatever. So at least it was that. Kind of goes back to like when somebody would just be hanging out backstage, and that was fine. But I think if you're going to have these guest people, maybe it would be more fun to have them just randomly show up.
Yeah.
And don't announce them.
Yeah.
That gives you, they always want the you never know what could happen. Well, that's what should be the you never know what could happen thing. I think it starts to build more of like, oh, I didn't know this person even has any sort of interest in wrestling,
It's kind of funny that when Dr. Phil came out, his song that played when he came out, it's called She's the One.
Who is he? Why is he this? I just don't understand why he's the spokesperson for women's wrestling all of a sudden. I mean, he hasn't looked athletic in probably 40 years.
I mean, if you're going to have someone be like a doctor for like these...
It should be Dr. Ruth.
I mean, Jerry Springer would fit this more than Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Springer actually likes wrestling.
Well, they probably couldn't get Oprah.
Oprah's busy. Can't afford Oprah.
He's the sidekick.
Can't afford Oprah.
He's in. Where's Ellen? They could have had Ellen.
Ellen, yeah. That'd be
Let her talk about women's wrestling.
Yeah.
Should we have a female?
Hey, Dr. Phil is the bigger name? I don't know.
Dr. Drew off of Love Line.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't get. I'm not excited for it if they do this on a regular basis. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of it, especially Dr. Phil. So, yeah. Steve, are you going to buy some gold as we wrap the show up?
Am I going to buy some gold?
Some gold? You're going to buy some gold? Have you thought about it last 15 minutes?
I've thought about it, and no, I don't think I am.
No?
I'm still good. Yeah, no, I'm good.
All right.
No gold for me.
If you are looking to buy some gold, we have a bridge to sell you.
I can't wait that far down the road to see if it materializes into something more. I need that money now.
If you want to give Jarrett your money, give us your money so we can plug out what you're doing.
Yeah, you give us the money,
Yeah.
and we will buy the gold for you, and it may or may not result in more money for you down the road.
We'll keep it for ourselves.
Yeah.
All right, this is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com. If you are interested, go to the contact page to get in contact with us. We're on Twitter at TIA Wrestling, Facebook as well. This is Awesome Wrestling Show. The search on Facebook, Instagram, all the social media links. But go to our website. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com. Big up to Booker T for coming on the show. Hat tip to Mr. Chris Clem. And a fist bump to Mr. Scott Steiner for answering, but hitting that big old red button that means end call.
End.
So, you know what? If Steiner calls back or we get a hold of Steiner anytime, we will be posting the audio from the call and looking forward to having Steiner on the show, hopefully in the next year, because we are slowly progressing to that stage.
Can't wait to go to Shoney.
Cannot wait to get a double-decker.
No upper.
We'll talk to you guys next week. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com.